the Indiana Fever are still going strong. They are far from finished, and what I'm going to share with you demonstrates that this front office is currently performing at a level that no other player in the WNBA can equal, although the remainder of the league is. Teams are in a panic over salary cap figures and the draft, while they are still trying to work out their personnel. Therefore, the Fever just made two subtle changes to address their roster's two main shortcomings. Indiana is actively looking for a backup, and Monique Billings is anticipated to sign with the team. Guard at the point. Why these actions are so disastrous for the rest of the league is not being discussed on WNBA Pro. However, we make the connections that others fail to. Greetings to all, and welcome back to Let's Dissect This.
All right. Finally, it appears Amber Cox has a pulse, y'all. She finally doing something, getting something done, even though there's much more to do. This is great news. This player was on my list of forwards.
I'll start with the Billings signing, as this is the type of action that doesn't garner much media attention, but takes home titles. Forbes' Roberta Rodriguez claims that Monique Billings attended a meeting, is anticipated to sign with the Indiana Fever after playing for the New York Liberty. Go back and read that. The defending 2020 format with her champions, the squad that included Sabrina Ionescu and Brianna Stewart, and she opted for Indiana. That provides all the information concerning the current gravitational pull of this franchise. When players choose the Liberty above the Fever, you are aware that Indianapolis is experiencing something unique. However, this particular aspect is what makes this deal so outstanding. Billings and Caitlin Clark already clicked. Actual chemistry. It's the sort you've already created, not the kind you dream for. Billings and Clark competed for Team USA in the FIBA Women's World Cup qualification tournament in March of this year. In San Juan, they played together, trained together, and built trust on the court in a genuinely competitive setting. And now Indiana will receive that connection. Why is that important? Because one of the most difficult. Accelerating the integration of new players during a shortened offseason like this. On April 19th, training camp will begin. May 8th marks the start of the season. Building chemistry from the ground up takes less than a month. However, Billings and Clark don't. Must begin at the beginning. They have a foundation already. They are already aware of each other's inclinations. They are already skilled at playing together. Scouting and stat lines are not as valuable as that head start. Report. Before I go into detail about Billings' contributions to this team, let me mention something that someone else is making a connection.
To be signing with the Indiana Fever, and we could already see the chemistry she had with Caitlin Clark at Team USA. Okay, she understood her role. She knew how to finish out of the pick and roll. All of that good stuff that we was looking for from our starting power forward.
Monique Billings stands 6 feet 4 inches tall. Her 9th WNBA season is about to begin. She was a member of the Atlanta Dream, the Golden State Valkyries, Phoenix Mercury, and Dallas Wings. She's been everywhere. She has witnessed everything. Additionally, she has a skill set that precisely completes the gap the Fever have been attempting to fill for the past 2 years. Billings averaged 7.3 points and 4.5 rebounds per game while playing for the Valkyries last season. Those figures won't blow everyone away. However, if you saw her perform, you are aware that the numbers don't convey the whole picture. Billings works as a blue-collar worker who handles the grunt work in order to free up shooters. She sets bone-crushing screens. She smashes the offensive glass and generates opportunity for second chances. She uses brains and physical strength to defend in the post. She oversees the court during transition and provides a seasoned presence and guidance that a new team can benefit from. Is in dire need. Consider the front court of the Fever from the previous campaign. The anchor was Aaliyah Boston. However, the depth was uneven behind her. Natasha Howard was inconsistent, although she had moments. Damaris Dantes did not attend the hole. A concussion during the playoffs. Although she had little scoring potential, Brianna Turner was a good defender. The Fever required a trustworthy season forward with the ability to play 20 minutes a night, defend several spots, grab rebounds, and not. To be effective, you need the ball. That player is Billings. Her goal in coming to Indiana is not to become famous. She will become a connection. The glue artist who adds brightness to the stars. Billings is the guy that will drive and kick when Clark be in the ideal location for the simple bucket. Billings is the player crashing when Mitchell pulls up from 3. The glass for the offensive rebound in the event that it fails. Billings is the player who can take a break when Boston needs one. Maintain control in the post without the defense breaking down. This is the part that every fan of Fever should be thrilled about. Billings rejected the liberty in favor of Indiana. She could have traveled to New York to pursue a romantic relationship with Stewart. It would have been simple for her to win a championship. Rather, she decided to travel to Indianapolis and participate in something that is being constructed from the ground up, that indicates her belief in the work being done by the Fever, that indicates that she is able to see the vision. And the culture is genuine when seasoned players begin favoring your team over well-established rivals. However, the Billings signing is only half the tale, so don't click away just yet. There may be even more in the other part. Crucial.
Monique Billings, Caitlin Clark in a pick and roll. I can see it already. Look at that. Good screen. That's a good physical screen. Great bounce pass from the GOAT. And the finish. Left hand through contact and one for Monique Billings. We're going to be getting a lot of that. Look at it. We're going to be getting a lot of this two-man action this year. We're going to be getting a lot of that, and I cannot wait. Monique Billings can step out away from the basket.
Since July of 2025, Fever supporters have been plagued with a question that I would like to pose to you. When Caitlin Clark takes a seat, what happens? Before a slew of injuries halted her season last year, Clark only participated in 13 games. Additionally, after she fell, there was no trustworthy backup point guard for the Fever. Sydney Colson suffered an ACL tear. Ari McDonald suffered a foot break. The squad was rushing to sign guys on hardship contracts in order to have a dribbler. The ball up the court, and an emergency. They pulled in Shea Petty and Odyssey Sims, and those players completed their hearts out. But in the most crucial situations, the absence of a true backup point guard was revealed. The semifinals' 5th game. Fumes powered the Fever. The entire offensive burden fell on Mitchell when she had rhabdomyolysis. The offense collapsed in the 3rd quarter. Nobody could take control of the system or accelerate the pace. Nobody could make things for other people the way Clark does. That is not going to occur again, but if the Fever are sincere about winning a championship and the front office is aware of that, the backup point guard pursuit becomes crucial at this moment. The Fever need a guy that can play for 12 to 15 minutes each game, maintain the offense, defend at the attacking point, and keep the leads that Clark generates. They require insurance not only for potential injuries but also for the regular rotation of a season with 40 games. Clark can't play for 35 minutes every night and maintain his health. She needs rest, and the group must be able to make it through those minutes on the floor without her. There are several choices available to the Fever. They might go after a free veteran agent with steadiness and experience. They could select a point guard with the 10th overall pick in the draft, such as Tony Morgan from Kentucky, Tana Mayer from Duke, or Raven Johnson from South Carolina. All 3 have been identified as possible. Insiders in the league are targeting Fever. Alternatively, they could do both, draft a young guard for growth and sign a veteran for the time being. The backup point guard position cannot be compromised. Regardless of the approach they choose, IT is the distinction between a team that can withstand hardship and a team that disintegrates when its star needs time off. Additionally, following the events of the previous season, the Fever cannot afford to leave it up to chance. This is what no one is saying aloud. Last year, without Clark, the Fever were only 5 minutes away from the championship game. 0.5 minutes. If they had a capable backup, they could have ended it if they had a point guard who could control the offense for even 10 minutes per game. Game 5. Had they defeated the Aces, they may have participated in the championship game rather than only watching from the house. That's how narrow the margin is. That is the significance of this role. Additionally, the fact that the Fever they've learned from the heartache of the previous season, as evidenced by their aggressive approach to it today. The wider picture is what makes everything so thrilling, so allow me to put everything together now.
But definitely might have a fever. Ty Harris appears to be headed to the Indiana Fever as the backup point guard for Caitlin Clark. Okay, maybe a little feverish though. Okay, this is Ty Harris. Listen, man, I'm good with Ty Harris being the backup point guard to Caitlin Clark. All we need is somebody that can keep the ship steady. Okay, But hey,
Allow me to take you through the current roster of the Fever, as once you see the whole picture, you'll see why I think this is the WNBA's best roster construction. Caitlin Clark, $528,000 under contract. The best passer in basketball for women, hungry, in good health, and prepared for a season of retaliation. Kelsey Mitchell signed a $1.4 million Supermax contract. The best three-point shooter in the league, 20.2 points per game. First team All-WNBA, Boston Aaliyah, under contract. Max is qualified for an extension, all-star clutch performer, the frontcourt's core. Michaela Timpson is bound by a contract. Young center with quick development, rookie deal, restricted free agent Lexi Hall. Anticipated to come back, floor spacer and defensive expert. The adhesive from Trace Leches. Sophie Cunningham is a free agent with no restrictions. A transaction is desired by both parties, the Guardian, the Enforcer, and the Energy. Monique Billings, a Team USA link with Clark, is anticipated to sign. Season connector, screener, forward, and rebounder. According to reports, Demaras Dantas consented to come back. Brazilian international backup center .8 players are either under contract, signed, or anticipated .8 players who provide you with a beginning lineup and important bench players, as well as the Fever's remaining 10th selection in the draft and cap space for a backup point guard as well as extra